Hello, everyone. We're so glad that you could join us tonight. We're having a little get together on the Hive, and we have some real stalwarts that are here on Memorial Day. So I'm going to just have Cheryl. She's available tonight. And she's just going to talk to us a little bit about the new compensation program. And we recorded it for you. And then we're going to stop the recording. And too bad you're not here, because then we're just going to talk. What we do on the Hive is we buzz. So tonight you can be on for this recording because you're just coming in for the recording. But for those of you that are with us tonight, when Cheryl is finished, we're going to stop the recording and we're just going to buzz. So Cheryl Sykes, please take it away.
Thank you so much, Vicky, and thank you for asking me. First of all, I am really excited about this new comp plan on a lot of different levels. And I've studied it a fair amount. And what I want to talk about is how to explain it to existing consultants, as well as how to explain it to new people that we're sponsoring and how to use it to encourage existing consultants to become team leaders. So that's kind of where I want to go and just kind of share it in some simple terms, okay? So the first thing, and I'm probably telling y'all a lot of stuff that you already know, so just bear with me if it's repeat. But so the biggest deal for existing consultants is that they get a raise. Because it used to be that if you were an existing consultant, the most you could make was 30%. And now for those consultants that we have who order maybe once every, 3, 4, 5 months, however often it is, they'll make 40%. And that's the base that any consultant is going to make. Okay. So if somebody orders every other month, or if they order once every 3 or 4 months, or if they order once every 11 or 12 months, they're going to make 40%, which is more than they have been making, which is 30%. So it saves them more. It's a better deal for them. And then you step up a level, and if somebody really wants to make a little bit of money and be consistent, we've got this thing. Well, Jafra calls them consistent qualified consultants, which doesn't sound too good to me.
Roll up the time.
Well, I shouldn't say that since this is being recorded. That doesn't really float my boat too much. So I mean, whether you want to call them a mini VIP, whether you want to call them a junior VIP, whether you want to call them a honeybee, whether you want to call them whatever, it gives consultants who want to be consistent at a lower level of activity a way to get more than 40%. Because when a consultant consistently does 200 a month and they get 45%. Okay, that's one of the two ways that they can get 45%. So if a consultant does 200 every month, she's going to make 45% commission, which is roughly $90 she's going to make on that $200 in sales. And that's a good way for her to put some extra money in her pocket. And it keeps her consistent. But she has to do at least 200 a month consistently. And it doesn't kick in until she's done it for 3 months, same as VIP. Okay. So she's got to be consistent for 3 months at 200. And during those 3 months at 200, she's going to earn 40%. But that fourth month where she does 200, she's going to get a raise to 45. Okay. So it's kind of like a junior VIP, a mini VIP, whatever you want to call it. Make up a fun name for your team, but that gives her a reward for being consistent at that $200 level. Okay. So does anybody have any questions on those two things? Does it make sense?
Yeah, because they have to unmute if otherwise everybody's muted, Cheryl, including me. So
Well, raise your hand and y'all can, if anybody has a question or doesn't understand. Okay. So, but there's one other way that consultants can bump themselves up to that 45%. And that's by sponsoring someone. So if a consultant were to sponsor a qualified consultant, which we know is now at $200, if somebody were to sponsor somebody in May who came in with $200 retail, the sponsoring consultant would get 45% in June. And another thing that I love about this new program is that it's for the whole month. You don't have to reach a certain level to get that percentage. So she starts out the month, even if she places a $10 order, she gets 45% because she sponsored somebody the previous month. Okay. And then it just goes on. And then if she were, so there are two ways that a consultant can get to 45%. She can either be consistent at $200 a month for at least 3 months, or she can sponsor a consultant in a given month, and the next month she's at 45%. Okay. So those are the two ways that she can do that. And if she's not consistent at least 200, or she never sponsors, which we know a lot of people never do, then she's 40%. Okay. So if they want even more, the only way a consultant can be at 50% profit is by being a VIP, which is 400 every month. Okay. And that's in the normal scheme of things. But every now and then we all know Jafra likes to offer us teasers. And so I first want to talk about new consultants. So,
Cheryl,
mhm,
Cheryl, can I ask a question?
mhm.
What was we hearing about place a $400 order every other month? What was that? Was there anything for place a $400 for every other month? It's just every month, 400,
You're a VIP
you're a VIP.
and you're
But if
50%.
she misses, does she have to do 4 months in a row
She has to do 3 more months in a row
before she comes back? So she goes to
So,
40.
right, she would go back. Let's say somebody was a VIP and they fell off.
Yeah, yeah.
Then the month that she falls off, she's still earning 50, I believe she'd still be earning 50% that month because she earned it from her previous month.
Yeah.
But she was a VIP and in May she does 400. That entitles her to 50% in June.
Ew.
Right. But let's say in June she only does $200. Okay, let's do that. Let's just say $200. Then she would fall in July to 45% because she would have had at least 200 for all of those months.
Okay.
Okay. If she took June off and did nothing, then she would be 40% in July because she did nothing in June. Does that make sense?
Cheryl, is
Mm-hmm.
is there a the promotion right now?
That's
Uh
what I was going to segue
okay.
to.
Okay.
That's what I was going to segue to. But does everybody understand that distinction? So what you do, and this is how it used to be years ago when I first started selling Jafra, what you did in 1 month determined your commission for the next month. So what's old is new. Um, so a new consultant, her first 3 months, a new consultant, um, is at 45%, kind of like a perk for being a new consultant, her first 3 months. Doesn't matter what she does in sales. I mean, well, except for this step up opportunity, but she's at 45% each month. Okay. So let's say she starts here in May. She's 45% this month, June, July, and August. Okay. Jafra has kind of a welcome to Jafra perk for her, a step up perk for her, that when she does 400, in the month she joins, and this is a use it or lose it deal, okay? When she does 400 in the month she joins, that entitles her to 50%, not 45, in her second month. And when she does 400 in her second month, that entitles her to 50% in her third month. Okay. And then she's basically, when she keeps it up, she's automatically a VIP. So it's designed to encourage her to be a VIP right from the get-go. Okay. Now, a lot of times when Jafra has introduced new programs, they'll offer it to existing consultants as well for a limited time. And Chris, to your point, I think that's what Jafra has done with this program, where anybody who did 400 in May is going to get 50% in June. And it's kind of like a 1, 2, 3 deal for existing consultants, to where if they are going to work towards being a VIP, then they've got, okay, in May they did 400. Then that means that they get 50% in June. And then in June, when they do 400, that means they get 50% in July. And then if they do it again, July to August, they're a VIP. And so I think Jafra is basically offering this new consultant step-up program to.
Carol, you're making noise. Can you unmute? Can you mute Carol?
Get muted. Anyway, so basically I think Jafra is offering this new consultant step-up program to everybody who did 400 in May, so that they have the opportunity to move into VIP the same way a new consultant could move into VIP. Chris, does that answer your question?
Yes,
Okay. Does it make sense?
yes.
Okay. All right. So, nutshell, only way a consultant can be at 50% is being a VIP. If she does 200 a month consistently, or she sponsors a QNC, then she'll be at 45. And if she orders here, there, and yonder, she's at 40.
I like it.
Yeah, it's and those levels also apply to leaders. But leaders have to do at least 200 in order to keep their branch. But that same commission of 40, 45, and 50 applies to leaders as well. But a leader should always be at least at 45, because they've got to do 200 to keep their
I have a
branch.
quick question, Cheryl.
Uh-huh.
Cheryl, this is Sarah. So how are you?
I'm in the grand scheme of things, I'm doing wonderfully well, and so is Hunt.
Awesome. So as far as qualified new consultant, it's 200, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except for our bonuses for the conference,
Exactly.
which ends the end of this month. So if you're planning on sponsoring somebody to earn that bonus, you've got to do 400.
Exactly. They've got to come in with one of those bigger packs or have a grand opening or whatever.
Okay.
Now, the one other thing that's new about this program that we need to pay attention to is they have to qualify in the month they join. There's no more of this month you join or next month. It's if they're going to qualify, they have to qualify in the month they join.
So you don't want to bring anybody in at the end of the month.
Well,
unless
unless they want to come in with 400 or 200.
Yeah, I would only bring somebody in with 400.
Yeah, I mean, and just let them know. I mean, it's their choice. It's their choice.
Come in at the beginning of the next month, they got the whole month.
That's right. Or they could just buy one of those great packs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's their choice. I really think that it's you just got to let them know what the deal is and let them choose what they want to do.
I agree.
Cheryl, can you answer this question for me? If you have consistent consultants that do $200 or 200, yeah, a month, and they're whatever that is for $200, they're at 40%, right?
Mhm.
Then do they move
No,
to,
they're at 45. If they do 200 consistently, they go to 45.
do they stay at 45 or do they have to
As
sponsor?
long as they keep doing 200, they're at 45. The same way a VIP who keeps doing 400 is at 50.
Okay, and then if you sponsor someone this month, new consultants normally with the new program come in at 45%.
Right.
But with the promotion with 50% this month, if that consultant comes in, is it 50%?
That's above my pay grade, Cecilia. I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I think that because everybody's at 50%, I would think, and I'm embarrassed to say I haven't sponsored anybody this month. But I would think that who sponsored somebody this month? What are they?
Coordinated with Americans ensured Britain didn't
Are they
overextend
50%, Sarah?
Well,
Yes,
my person came in
yes.
with a $400 kit, but one thing really important, because I helped one of my Latina consultants place an order right before I got on, and
Mhm.
I think it was 178. And I just said, let's get you to 200 because that really counts. I mean, it doesn't necessarily count for them. It'd be nice if there was something other that I didn't
Well,
realize.
it puts them in a position to be able to stay at 45 versus 40.
Right. But, you know, she didn't even question me. I just said, oh, you're just a little bit under 200. Let's go for 200.
Yeah.
And then I reminded her about the free shipping because she asked
Right.
me right away. And I said, well, you have to order by the 15th
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
do
but
at
that's
least
still
200.
Yeah, and I love the way they dovetail together because at the first part of the month, it does encourage somebody to do 200 for the free shipping. That counts as one of your 5 for your qualifications,
Right.
and it puts them in line to be a honeybee or whatever you want to call them, a sugar bee, whatever.
In the 200 club.
Yeah, the 200 club. I don't like consistent qualified consultant because it sounds it's a mouthful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it is in their best interest to do at least 200 every month.
So Sarah, your new consultant was at 50%. Well, it would, yeah, not 45.
Yeah, but she also placed a $400 order because I mean, I'm
But
working on
that doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, she got it at, yeah. And then that's interesting. I don't know because I do know that it didn't show up because when they show those kits, they don't show them at 50%.
No, they show them at 45. They show
Yeah.
them at 45.
Yeah. But I mean, I was motivating her because I want my bonus.
Yeah.
So I was motivating
But-
her to do the 400.
Yeah, but the thing is, that may be true. So if they get a kit, those are automatically priced at 45% commission. If she were to go in and just order, a new consultant this month because we've got this snafu, if she would just order individual products, she probably would be at 50%. But if she were to order a kit, if she were to order one of those packs, she'd probably be at 45.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that. I don't know.
Me too.
I don't know.
It
So
was
this
still
gal
a
that
better
wants
deal
to-
for her, even at 45, because she's getting that 900 and something dollar pack, for 400 retail. So it's still good.
So
Yeah.
this particular gal will order one or two of the packs. I think she said she wanted both of them. I'm supposed to talk to her tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, look at what Carol Boyer said. She said, can you read it in the chat?
No, I don't have my reading glasses on. Somebody
One of
will have
my
to read
district
it.
leaders has a new consultant who ordered a very small order and got 50. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about if they get the packs though. I want to know if they
Yeah.
get 50.
Everybody got 50%, whether they were inactive or active. We talked about that they didn't have the right program to change that.
So whether
Yeah.
it's advertised
Yeah.
at 45% or not, it should be a 50, hopefully.
Well, I don't know. The best way to answer that question is to ask somebody who's actually sponsored somebody who's gotten one. Because we could all speculate all day long, and I don't have a clue.
Sarah, you did though, and she did
Yes.
$400,
And
right?
it looked like it was 45%.
Shoot. Okay.
And it was interesting. Cheryl, you said one thing that I kind of missed
Mhm.
that about getting them to move up to team leader. Can you repeat that? Because
Oh, I
we
hadn't
all
gotten to that yet.
okay.
Um, so, so I lost my train of thought. So to be a team leader, you have to do 200 consistently, and you have to sponsor people who do 200 consistently. So if you are encouraging people to be one of these mini VIPs, they've already got that part ingrained in their Jafra business that they're doing at least 200 a month. And it's very easy for them to encourage people who are coming in to do that very same thing. And it's, you're just because it's 200 to qualify, you're doing 200, you're just kind of playing off that 200 number for everybody to be at least 200 and to get that maximum commission without being a VIP. And then if they want to do more, if they want to grow more, then they can reach 50 by being a VIP. But I think the thing that we've all been, at least I have been lacking in my branch, and this is kind of like true confession here, is that I don't have enough consultants who are consistently ordering month after month after month. I mean, I've got some who do.
Haven't rewarded them for doing it.
Yeah, right. And this
Totally
particular
different now.
And this particular commission plan does reward them for consistency
Yeah.
at the $200 level. And then it's easy once somebody is doing 200 to help them step up to 400 and more. But the whole promotion business is banked on 200, everybody at 200, those 5 plus you at 200. And then, but the most a consultant can make, as I'm repeating myself, is 45% unless she's a VIP. Okay.
In reality, because I'm trying to think about our promotions, our branches that we're trying to help qualify,
Mm-hmm.
it would be, we could share with them, it'd be a really good idea, even though you get 50% this month at any level, by placing your $200 order, you're actually setting yourself up to go up to the 45% level and not the
Exactly.
40%. So
Exactly.
that to me, I was kind of looking for that little thing because,
Yeah. So you get a raise. You're giving yourself a raise when you're
yeah.
consistent. But you're
Mhm.
but you're earning 40 while you're building the
Yeah.
3-month history.
That'll also encourage people to order more products because in the past they came in with the pack and then you didn't hear from them again.
Well, yeah, but I really like helping people build a customer base versus just ordering for themselves. And
Yeah.
even if it's one order, one client at a time, just building that customer base that you can rely on and helping them,
But
you
Cheryl,
know,
if they come in only for wholesale privileges, let's say they do, what it's going to do is the 45 is going to encourage them to order a lot more products that they're going to use. The trouble I feel is that many people don't order shampoo, they don't order deodorant, they do because they're not encouraged to. It's kind of like I came in, I got my pack, I love Jafra, bang, I'll order once a year. This is going to totally give people the opportunity, the incentive to try more products.
well, yeah. And I think if you show them how easy it is to put a little money in their pocket through sharing Jafra.
Yep.
I think that's because there is Carol was saying there aren't very many direct sales companies out there that are offering 40, much less 45 or 50% to consultants. So you can get a lot of bang for your buck when you do share. And I think that we need to get back to encouraging consultants, even if it's a small elite customer base, where they get to choose who their customers are. I don't, I mean, whether they've got 10 clients or 10,000, but just making sure that they do have that grand opening, that they do develop some sort of a client base to share Jafra with and share what they love and why they love it so others will want to order it.
So Cheryl, I wanted to add to tonight something that happened to me. Uh, this month, I placed an order, and I hate to say this, but I blame everything on my age. And I forgot, I guess I didn't do the last checkout thing. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to tell you this. But so Jafra now has in place a wonderful email that goes out and says, you left products in your cart and click here to finish your order. And it's a beautiful email. And I don't know that it was an email. I think it was a text. Can't
No,
remember.
I think it's an email. I think they sent an email. Mhm.
They send an email out and then they give you the link. So you don't have to apologize. I've had so many consultants that I didn't even know that they left products in their cart.
Mhm.
And I've been so upset for years in the fact that I have to go in and make myself be accountable to everybody that's got, you know, products in their cart.
Mhm.
A lot of times I don't even know. But anyways, now Jafra is taking care of that. So I think that's a huge bonus for all of us.
It is. It is. It's a nice perk. It's a nice reminder. Two things that I remind my consultants of. Number one is always to sign out of your back office. Always. Always, always, always. Because this new computer system is tied to your browser. It's not tied to your case number like the old one was. So, let me see. I need to know why my. Okay, so I'll get to that, Carol, in just a second. But you really want to sign out so that your computer doesn't immediately take you to your back office. So once you get through doing whatever you're doing in your back office, be sure to sign out. That's number one. And number two, since I read Carol's thing, I can't tell you what I was going to say. But in order to get that higher commission, Carol, you need to have the 5 people plus you doing 200, and your team needs to have 2,800 in sales instead of the 1,200 in sales. And once you do that, not only do you earn the higher commission on your central branch, you earn the higher commission automatically on your first lines. Or if you're a supervisor and have more than one, on your second line as well. So it's kind of like you're either high override on all lineage levels or low override on all lineage levels. And what determines that is the strength or the sales in your central branch. So once you meet your minimums of 5 plus you at 200 and your team as a whole hits that 2,800, you get the higher commission on your branch and as far down as your title enables you to go. Does that answer your question, Carol? Shake your head.
Sort of, but it says 8 to 13%. So how do you know what
It's either
amount?
or. It's either or.
Oh, it's 8 or 13%. So if you're doing $8,000 in your central branch or more, 8 or 9,000, I'm going to get 13% probably.
Exactly.
I love
As,
it.
as long
Thank you.
as you have the 5 at 200 plus you at 200.
Got it.
You've
Oh,
got to have that. That's the baseline. You've got
Thank
to
you.
have at least 5 doing that 200 plus you doing that 200. You
Oh,
doing that
yeah.
200.
We're more than that. So I'm excited because I'm going to get a 13%.
Yeah.
I'm getting a 2% raise
Yeah.
on my central branch than what I normally get. So this is great. Now you
Uh,
don't have to have a one QNC. That's either
Well, no,
or.
that's only if you're promoting. Now, if you are
Yeah.
promoting out, if a consultant is in her qualifying month, she's got to have the 5 plus her, each doing at least 200. One of those 5 has to be sponsored during her qualifying month. So that's just if you're qualifying to be a manager. Okay. Now, the other thing for getting into team leaders and whatnot, there are two ways that a leader, no matter what level, but we'll just talk about team leaders. There are two ways that a team leader can get 50%. Number one, she can be a VIP. Or number two, she can have a directly sponsored qualified new consultant in her branch the previous month. So if a team leader sponsors in May, but she's not a VIP, but if she sponsors a qualified consultant in May, then she will get 50% in June. So that's a perk for leaders. Again, back to that point, Sarah, another perk for being a team leader. When you sponsor somebody in a given month, you personally sponsor somebody in a given month, you're at 50% the next month. When a consultant sponsors somebody in a given month, the most she makes is 45.
That's good, Cheryl.
Okay.
Just to clarify, I thought for team leader to get 50%, it was one direct and one indirect. Is it just one direct?
Well, I'm looking on page 5, and mind you, I don't have my glasses on. It says have one directly sponsored QNC with 200 more in personal sales the previous month to get 50% as a leader. That's on page
Okay, good to
5.
know.
But I think that there is this one direct and indirect, and let me see where that is.
That's for the high commission, isn't it? The highest commission with
Yes.
1,200.
Yeah, it is. That's the alternate. Yes.
Yeah.
You can either do the 2,800 and get the high commission. Thank you, Chris. Or you can do one direct and one indirect and get the high commission.
Okay.
So the differentiation there, Tucky, is for 50% for you, it's either be a VIP or sponsor somebody in the previous month. And you as a leader will get 50% in the next month. For your high commission, it's either do the 2,800 with the 5 plus you at 200 minimum each, or one direct and one indirect.
Okay, thank you. I knew that was in there somewhere and I just mixed up
Yeah.
where it was. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
it was. Yeah. Our collective brains are remembering it. Yeah. Thank you, Chris.
Okay, Cheryl.
Wait, I have a quick question. So going back to that special little new, I guess it's just right now because I didn't understand that when they sent that little picture out, but it's right now 400 in May gives you 50% in June.
Right.
400 in June then gives you 50% in July. You have to keep the plan going, and 400 in July gives you 50% in August, but that's just a temporary thing. It's
It is,
not
and it
ongoing.
is, and I really think it's just Jafra offering that perk that new consultants get, that step up program that new consultants get to everybody,
Okay.
so that we can build more VIPs.
Okay, so that's a temporary thing. I
It
remember
is.
seeing, but I didn't quite understand it. Okay,
Yeah.
I got it now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And does anybody want to talk about rewards, or you want to save that for another day?
Let's save it because we've used our time. And in fact, we've got 10 minutes that what we're going to do is say goodbye to everyone that's on the recording. And then we have about 10 minutes to take questions or to talk about anything. So I'm going to end the recording. Stop.